Yo. We back up in here. We live up in here, man. What's goody?
What it do? What it do?
Let the folks join in real quick, man. Yo, it's crazy that you said that. Yo, you want to tell the folks real quick how people be stopping you in the streets talking about what to do?
I
Like, yeah.
mean, it be weird as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even. I really didn't know that shit was that big. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Oh, that sound crazy, but you know what I mean. People do walk up to me. I mean, what it do? What it do? You know what I mean,
Hey, what's your response be?
I try to finish. Finish the line with a bar, something that match. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no way you finish no line. Hell no.
At first, I'm
You be like,
looking
what
at
to do, and you be like, my name Jew, and what would you be saying?
yo, it go
I
round,
know
bro.
it's on Instagram and TikTok too.
Yeah, I think you can say it, boy.
Ew, there's some feeling the bar.
So that's what you be saying on the street, nigga. They be like, what they do? You be like, follow us on Instagram and TikTok too.
Whatever. You know what I'm saying? If that's what popped up, I mean, I might have finished the line with
Yo, nah. That's funny.
that. No book of. I'm pretty sure he's gonna say I'm Eli rocking felines.
First of all, they're just gonna say why Eli. Like that's
Yeah. Is that why Eli? Wow.
Is that the why Eli guy? Aren't you why Eli? Like I'm like, yes, I'm Eli.
I'm kind of happy I ain't got no phrases down. Like, ain't nobody.
Like
They just gonna be like, oh, you Ace, right?
Ace the GOAT. Like,
Yes, sir. That's me.
Man, how your day was, man?
Man, hectic.
Clearly, I've been blowing up your phone all day, nigga. Don't see your chat. Ace don't care about us, man. It's only for the podcast. He only care for us on the podcast. Outside the podcast, he don't pick up his phone. He don't be texting back. Like
it's almost trade deadline. He trying to do a lot of trades for the Los Angeles Lakers and save their career.
Yeah, first of all, Los Angeles looking pretty good right now. I ain't gonna lie.
They won one game. Now they looking pretty good. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just talking about roster wise. You know what I mean? We gonna make the playoffs. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody going to see us.
How much you want to put on? How much you want to put on that though?
Ain't nobody going to see us when we make the playoffs. You know what I mean?
How much you want to put on that?
That we make the playoffs? I put 50 on it.
50 what?
Doge, nigga. Like, what dollars, nigga?
I don't know. With y'all be trying to finesse shit.
No, you be trying to finesse, nigga. Everybody know you to finesse, nigga.
Yo, man, if y'all on y'all way in, man, make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Yo, put where y'all from in the comments real quick. I mean, in the chat real quick, so I can see where.
How was your day, my boy? Man, just got had to.
Who me or Jew?
You, Jew went already.
You did what you said, Jew.
I didn't say not said. I don't think I said anything.
Oh shit! All right.
Save me for last, man. I got a lot of shit to get off my chest, man.
Like, you do?
Nah.
For once. I mean, my Thursdays is regular shit. You know what I'm saying? Work, then being a parent all day. You know what I'm saying? Basketball practice, dance practice. Then this long ass live stream that I love to do with y'all, man. Keep me entertained, keep me busy.
Okay. Yeah, you is the number one. You out here. I'm trying to compete for that number one dad title, man. Like.
Yo, man, but you gotta learn how to cook to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, your cooking skills is decent. You know what I mean? It's decent.
That might be
the first thing I ever gave you. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
It's decent, man. It's decent, man.
Whatever. You hate us.
Man, as far as me, I already know what I've been going through this whole week. And I had to think about this earlier today. I gotta blame Jew. Jew is the reason that I'm injured. Like, I'm gonna
stop guarding me.
Nah, first of all, no. We was on the same team. Number one, I was going off. I scored like 4 or 5 in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like doing my thing. Huh? What'd you say?
Three in a row.
3 in a row. Like it was definitely 4 or 5 in a row. And I was guarding my defender. Yo, they even have the basketball. He didn't even have the basketball. I was guarding him off the ball, or did he have the basketball?
Nah, he had the ball.
Anyway, so I pushed off on my left foot. And it felt like somebody kicked me in the back of my Achilles. So I'm like hobbling around. I'm looking around. I'm talking to Jew like, yo, somebody ran into me. It felt like somebody threw a ball at my shit. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, did somebody like hit me? And I'm looking around. Jew like, nah, nobody touched you. Immediately after he said that, it's like my brain registered that shit, man. I started hobbling. I had to hop off the floor. I had to go to the emergency room. They talking about I got a partially torn Achilles. So, you know.
So the question I got to ask is, did Jew look like Drake when KD tore his Achilles? You know what I mean? It was Drew.
Nah. I looked at him like I was playing 2K and then the player got hurt out of nowhere.
Yo, yeah, he was looking that way because I was going off. You know what I mean? Like I was bringing our team.
He was going off.
I was the reason we won. Keep it a buck, Jew.
He did tie the game. He hit 3 straight to tie the game.
It was like 4 or 5. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It was 3 straight.
Anyway,
He doing
threes?
No.
I'm here.
This is regular
3 middies.
buckets. So, you know what I mean? But so that's been my week so far, man. Just been struggling out here. Y'all might see me pull up on the on the episode in the wheelchair or on the boot. So if y'all see me in the boot or in the cane or something, just know. You know what I mean? I know y'all wondering why I had the mask on last episode. Now I got the Dwayne hat boot. And I'm gonna say it before Juice say it. I know he waiting to have that shit in his fucking intro.
I'm gonna try to get our editors to put a Scully on his head. He got the one boot, and then I'm gonna put the Dwayne head audio in the background for y'all.
Anyway, so before we get in, before I introduce the guests, I do got one Black History question for y'all. Y'all ready for this? This one is simple though. I ain't even gonna hold you. This one is
I'm an expert. Come on.
I don't know about if you were an expert, but I would, if I had to put money, I would put more money on you to get this right than Jew. So I'm gonna start off with Jew, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says Eric Marlon Bishop is known professionally as what?
The Reverend at the Baptist Church. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
All right. I'm like, huh? Keem, you wanna answer this one?
You said Eric Marlon Bishop?
Mm-hmm.
Sound like a reverend.
It do sound like a reverend, I ain't gonna lie. Eric Marlon Bishop. I'm gonna say, you said the question was he's known most as what?
He's known professionally as this.
Oh, Eric Marlon Bishop.
Yeah, a reverend or a politician. I don't know.
Is that an actor?
Yo, fuck out of here. I seen your eyes, boy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What? Ain't nobody even say nothing.
Yeah, all right, bro. All right. You got 5 seconds. 5.
An actor. That's all we go. Actor.
Okay. What was the actor name?
Yo, that wasn't the question, my boy. Like,
He's professionally known as what? Like,
huh?
What was
he
known as what?
Man, the name sounds so familiar, but
Listen, man, y'all know it's Jamie Foxx, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's his actual real name.
Oh, facts.
And little dumb me, I always thought Jamie Foxx was that nigga real name. Like, yo, I was like,
I knew he changed his name.
I thought it was Jamie King. I ain't gonna, because he had the show, whatever.
We slacking over here, man.
Eric Marlon Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you thought that was easy? Like,
I thought y'all would know. Like, you know what I mean? So
I know he changed his name though.
I thought his name was actually Jamie though. How you go from Eric to Jamie though? That's crazy.
Lawrence Fishburne, that's not his name either. He changed his name to his name's Larry.
But I do want to say Jamie Foxx is one of the most talented Black people on earth. I ain't gonna lie, man. That's a talented man.
Just like Alicia Keys, her real name is Alicia Keys. Who knew? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
now you just ruining my childhood, bro.
Anyway, man, I'm gonna introduce the ladies, man. We got a pretty interesting panel. We got some great topics we're gonna discuss. And I'm gonna just introduce the ladies one by one, let them introduce themselves and where you can find them at, and then we're gonna get straight to the topic. So let me see what we got.
Let me shout out Michael real quick. You know what I mean?
Hey, Jack, my vibes. How you doing?
Hey.
Okay.
Doing good. How about y'all?
We chilling, man. Jamie Foxx. You knew that was Jamie Foxx's real name?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. See?
A
little bit of Black history.
Hey, you hear me?
Know what I mean? Yeah, it's like a little delay.
Yeah, a little delay, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can let everybody know your name.
Hey y'all, what's up? This is Jackie. You can. Let me cut my internet on just to make sure, maybe to get better. But yeah, this is you can follow me at Jack My Vibes, Instagram as well as TikTok, and Evocentric Podcast on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Candy, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. You can introduce yourself and let the folks know where they can follow you at.
Hey everyone, I am Candy. I am from Florida. You can find me on Instagram, Candy25Love. Also co-host for Queen Talk Podcast on all platforms.
Mm-hmm. Yo, Charlamagne do say all the craziest people come from Florida. Is that true?
Me and my cousin was just talking about that. Yeah. I mean, we ain't crazy. We just passionate, you know. So.
Oh, that's what y'all calling it, passion. Like, okay, I respect it. I respect it.
You know.
Brittany, how you doing?
Hey y'all, what's up?
It's good,
What
bro.
up, same. You can introduce yourself and let them know where they can follow you at.
Hey everyone, I'm Brittany. I'm a therapist. You can follow me at @BringItBrack_ on Instagram, Twitter. Author, have a book on generational healing. Author, have a book on mental health. I'm also on YouTube, keeping it a buck with you.
Right. Say it again, though.
Yeah, say it again, because we got some background noise going on.
You want me to do my whole spiel again?
Nah, just the M part.
Yeah, YouTube.
Oh, the YouTube is keeping it a buck with B.
Okay.
Make sure y'all check these out. Add them, subscribe.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to put everything in the description. That way, it make it a little easier for everybody just to go to. How you doing?
Hey y'all, how
Hey.
y'all doing?
Hey.
I'm Brina. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Brina_boom_that. I'm a host in New Jersey and New York. So if you need somebody to host your baby shower to your wedding, you could book me.
Okay, I respect that, man. Last but not least, man, like got Queen.
Hey y'all, what's up? Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Definitely
man.
Okay. What's up, y'all? I am Queen M Bonnie. You can follow me on Instagram at Queen M Bonnie. You can follow me on YouTube, Royal Self Media, and we also have an online website, royalself.com, for the kings and the queens. So if you're looking for some nice jogger sets for my men and my ladies looking for some nice dresses, you can follow us, royalself.com. Go on our website.
Okay.
I'm so happy to be here.
Appreciate you for pulling up.
Appreciate y'all for coming on the panel and having this conversation with us. What you gonna say, Ace?
It wouldn't have made sense to have them pop up next to each other.
I mean, you could. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could change it. Like you don't gotta get.
I don't mean like the how it's set up. I mean like I forget it. Let me chat. BK quick review says shout out to Brooklyn Crown Heights and Dailyrapupcrew. First time catching y'all live. Question: what's one thing men and women can do to make modern relationships better? Oh, you trying to start the question?
Well, you started it off.
He getting straight into that. Like, I think. I think that's we get into that real quick. I honestly think having the tough conversations. I say this all the time. Huh?
Try to keep it under 10 seconds.
We got under 10 seconds. Goddamn, like. All right, so have honest and open conversations with each other, and with the intent to listen and listen to comprehend and not listen to react.
I would say communication is a big part of relationships these days. It gets overlooked how important communication is, and communicating effectively. That's the most important part.
I think respect and being able to hold yourself accountable will get your relationship to go a long way. Once you understand what you need to fix, a lot of the times is usually the problem. So, I mean, holding yourself accountable and respecting your partner get you far.
Anybody else want to add?
So just make can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's perfect now.
Okay, so just make sure that you show your partner grace. A lot of times we worship our partners and we think that they're perfect beings. So you need to understand that they're going to make mistakes, and just based off how you guys interact with one another, do what works for you. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, then you got to do what you got to do.
Candy?
I live to the full. Communication and comprehension. You gotta communicate and comprehend what each other's saying. I feel like that's like the foundation of a relationship.
Brittany?
So the question was, how do we make modern relationships better? And I'm gonna say it starts with our own individual healing. Like if people started doing their own work before they got together, we see a lot less failed relationships, a lot less failed marriages. So this whole idea that, some people don't want to go to therapy or they feel like they don't need it. We all need self-development. And that comes into communication, self-accountability, self-awareness, and all of that helps our relationships grow.
True.
Brina?
So I'm gonna piggyback off of Brittany. I truly believe that people need to find healing in their their traumas. I feel like most of the time people bond over traumas and have to understand that we have to heal from that in order to move forward and make sure your compatibility is not based on your past traumas and that you can live in longevity with this person.
That's true. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
Queen,
That's true.
I know you last and probably said
Like, y'all done said everything. Like in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna say this, and then y'all say it. But definitely, what all you guys said, and also learning your person, learning who you are with, will definitely help when you guys are in communication with anything. I feel like learning your person, learning them and their triggers and what makes them happy, and all those things will make communication a lot better.
Yeah, this is very, very informative, man. BK, I hope you got your BQ. My fault. I hope you got your answer.
Yeah, so those are some great answers. And get into this first topic. I seen this on Twitter, I believe. A woman had tweeted that natural bodies are for poor females, and I want to get y'all thoughts on it. I think that's true or false. And
False.
I do want to add. I do want to add to
False.
that. If women had, do you think if more women had the financial resources to get their bodies done, do you think more women would get their bodies done?
No, because it's not that hard. It's not that hard for them to do it. They got payment plans.
Right.
People use their income tax.
I think more women will have to want to prioritize it, right? Like I'm in the process of like saving for property, right? I've got more money in a savings account than I've ever touched, like ever been able to save. And I look at that money and be like, you could go get your titties done if you want. You could actually get your titties done a few different times if you wanted to. You could probably, but that's not my priority right now. So I think like depending on the woman, like yeah, you could look at yourself in the mirror and see your body in a certain type of way, like oh, you know, I wish I had a bigger booty, or I could probably stand and have some lipo or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you can work with what you got, you've worked with it for this long, and it ain't, you got other shit that you want to prioritize, you ain't gonna run the lay on no table.
Okay. Anybody else got anything to add?
Or sit up on that plane with your legs hanging the other way.
So I feel like it's more accessible these days. And more acceptable, so that's why it may be seen as like poor people are getting their bodies done because like Jackie said you could get like payment plans. I heard like it's available on Afterpay now, which is crazy. But it's actually more people go to the gym as opposed to getting their body done. Like so I don't know how this is trending that poor people going and getting their bodies done. So I just feel like it's more accessible. But if you really look at it, people are going to the gym. That's why Planet Fitness is $10 and Blink is $20.
They go to the gym after they get that work.
Yeah, I was gonna say they go to the gym after they get their body done. Like, you gotta maintain the body.
That's when they up in there, both flexing.
Yeah. And I mean, y'all said like our natural bodies, like is that the broke? Like, are you broke if you have a natural body? Which absolutely just doesn't make sense because women are going to doctors with body shapes and images of women who are naturally built like that, right? Like we know what a botched BBL look like. Like yeah. I mean, clearly some of these women are going in there with the wrong image or going to the wrong doctor. Yeah. You're stealing a prototype that already exists. Like the BBL girls didn't create that shape. Like the Caribbean women created that shape. The African women created that shape. Like Black women have already been the prototype for the shape that these women are seeking when they go to get the BBLs anyway.
See, I want to make 2 points, right? We had an episode where a woman said that if a woman gets surgery, surgical enhancement, that's a status. It's a level of like status, like right? Because she equated, white women getting their breasts done as women of status that could afford to get their breasts done. So she kind of equated that to a status level. And number 2, you said something about the prototype that I do want to talk about because I said on a previous episode that I do believe Black women are the prototype, but it just hurts me to see so many of my Black women coming back from flights from Colombia and DR got to get pushed through the wheelchair, and wheelchairs getting pushed through hospitals. So it's like, if black women are the prototype, why am I seeing so many of my black women going out to get these procedures that are, quite frankly, is dangerous? You know what I mean? Like, so that's the part I'm a little skeptical about. Like, what is this fascination with this, BBL lifestyle, and you know what I mean, things of that nature?
Well, like you said, it's an association to a lifestyle, right? So a lot of women have this false belief that, like, if I go and I get this work done, it's going to put me in a higher caliber of men, which is going to put me in a higher caliber of lifestyle, right? And I don't care what women say about, like, oh, I don't do it for men. We do a lot of shit for the male gaze. It's nothing wrong. Like, women appeal to men. Men want to appeal to women. Like, that's just what it is. If you are in a certain industry, like, let's say you a stripper or a model, a certain type of model, right? You want to do urban modeling. Like, I understand it's like a business sort of mindset and going and making that type of investment. But baby, like, if you want to get a BBL to go back and work at Walmart, what you doing?
But that's happening.
Crazy, right?
But I also think that the more that BBLs become common, the less that the celebrities will start getting them, because they want to still separate themselves from people that will be considered working class and poor.
But we see,
like, I think the boobs. I think, like, you remember they used to be skinny with the big boobs. Mm-hmm. That's starting to come back now. Like, people are kind of straying away from the BBLs outside of the black community. Like, have you seen Kim Kardashian? She slimmed down. She got her boobs reduced. She got her bottom reduced, because that's not what's in any longer.
Right.
Yeah. Body type go through trends and phases, I feel like.
Right.
Now, you can only get a little mommy makeover or a tuck, but like the BBL, phase has kind of taken the communities by storm, because now I don't have to get no butt shots, right? Like, now I can gain a little weight, get the weight from my stomach, put in my booty, right? And it feels less invasive, but it's just as invasive.
Right.
I hear what you guys are saying, right? But I'll still have a misunderstanding when it comes to, because women do it for men, right? But if men are saying, like, yo, I don't find it attractive for you to have that big old hard ass, like, why is it still being done? Because then it's flipped, like, oh, I'm not doing it for you, I'm doing it for myself and my insecurities or whatever the case may be. So what is it then at that point?
But women, I don't think women are going into like the doctor to get that hard ass. They're getting botched in the process of
right.
Mm-hmm. So if you see a chick like Drea, Drea got a skinny BBL.
It look good.
Men see her, it looks like a good body. That's what some of these women are trying to obtain, but they're not getting. So, like, it still is. I see that a certain caliber of men and men in general are attracted to this body type. I'm gonna try to imitate that, but as we know, sometimes when you imitate shit, it don't come out the way you want
to.
Exactly.
Right. So there are men out there that are still attracted to this, like, and that's why women are still going and getting it done. Like Brittany said, like, they're trying to achieve this look, and the heavy, like, influence from social media and all these unrealistic expectations that social media puts out there, and also people trying to be a part of this lifestyle and enhance their life, when essentially they're just hurting themselves in the long run. But we're not having enough of these conversations. And then when guys are scrolling, what are they scrolling and looking at on Instagram? And women get insecure from this.
Like, if I'm looking at the type of chicks that a dude I like follow, and most of them hoes got BBL, I'm gonna think that's what you like.
Right, exactly.
I always say this with men. I think men are very naive when it comes to BBLs. Like, I know for myself, or maybe I could just speak on myself. I see women and I want to assume that she has a natural physique. Unless it's just outrageously disproportionate, and I know that it's fake. But some BBLs can look very natural, and then you see her with the gym pictures. So in my head, I want to think that she's a black woman. She is the prototype. She has a natural physique. God has blessed her with this natural physique. So I don't go in automatically thinking, oh, she got work done. Like, I'm thinking, wow, she's just blessed with a natural physique. She's maintaining herself in the gym. So I think a lot of guys, the first thing I think we associate is that, wow, she just has a natural physique. Unless it's just outrageously crazy, right. Then it's just like, all right, whatever. And then after that, then I think it's a little bit for myself. And I've said this on a live stream. I was a very huge fan. I'm still a huge fan of SZA and her music, But as far as her being a black woman, I looked at her as the pinnacle. Like, I thought she was an outrageously beautiful black woman.
Yeah.
It wasn't until recently I found out that she did have enhancements done to her. So now I felt cheated because I always looked at her as a natural black woman. Like, she's a gorgeous black woman. Now I feel like a part of me feels like that's cheating. Like, anybody could go to the doctor and say, hey, I want to look like this, you know, and I got the money. To me, that's cheating. And I can't respect that. Me personally, I can't respect that the same way, you know, naturally a woman who embraces her natural beauty. Like, I can't respect that. You know what I mean? So
is it that you feel cheated, obviously, because you thought it was natural and then now she's not? But if you met a chick who you were attracted to and she came out the gate and told you that she had work done, would it feel the same?
If she told me she had work done, I would still look at her like, okay, well, you cheated. You know what I mean? I'm always going to look at you like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you, and that's not to take away from the I'm going to treat you with respect, obviously. Like, you know what I'm saying? But in my head, I'm always going to look at you like, well, anybody could go to the doctor and say, I want to look like Jada Waiter, or I want to look like, you know, I got 20K. I want to look like Bria Miles, or like, you know, and I'm gonna be upset if Bria Miles got work done too. Please don't tell me she got work done. Well, but you know, I'm gonna be upset like if you go to the doctor and say like,
look like she got some answers for you.
Who got the answers?
No, I said Brittany look like she has some answers.
Yeah, don't ruin that for me because I'm running out of I'm running out of natural black women to idolize, man. Like, but again, if you go to the doctor that were like Bernice Burgos, that to me that's cheating. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
But let's be real, right? I'm sorry. Let's be real. Not every black woman has the prototype body that you guys imagine and has this like voluptuous shape and like an hourglass shape. Not every black woman is built like that. I feel like that's a big misconception too. So, and we also feel those pressures when it comes from that. So why can't we embrace natural bodies that do not look like that?
Exactly.
I agree.
Shape, right?
Yeah, I agree.
We all come in different shapes and sizes.
But it don't work like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that is a part of the problem. Like, if we started showing more of the natural girls' love, we could get a little further. But then, you know, even when famous people come out, like when Glorilla came out, the first thing motherfuckers were saying, like, you need to get your body done. Like, that shit perpetuates this culture, and it doesn't help. And I
heard a lot of women. It'd be a lot of women saying that too. Just like Coyle Ray, it'd be a lot of women that's saying this.
It's coming from both sides, and it's bad that like we look at somebody who has a natural slim body, and that's what's said.
I wouldn't suggest she change that for the world.
And with like Coyle Ray, like people used to talk about, oh, she got a little kid body, she got a boy. You do that plant seeds of insecurity in maybe not her, but women who are reading those comments who look like her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And so, what are we counting as natural bodies nowadays? Are we? Is that taken away from the hair and the makeup? Is that still part of natural as well? Like,
oh, you taking it there?
Natural bodies. I'm saying you ain't had no work done.
Right. If you made any permanent changes,
right?
Gotta be permanent now. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yo, I want to hear from Queen and Candy. Y'all been kind of. I like how that crown is right above your head. That's dope as hell. Like, okay. Well,
are y'all sisters?
They partners.
Because we've been like friends like
forever.
Yeah.
Yo, so what's your thoughts on this whole topic?
You want to go first?
You can go.
Okay. Well, I feel like personally. So the question was, what was the question?
Natural bodies are for poor women, basically. Like,
I don't agree with that. I just feel like the ones that get their body done are more like insecure. The females that got their body done, they was on payment plans for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? They finally got their body done and they working out, you know, and trying to maintain it. Some of them, they back to square one because they want the idea of getting guys' attention, but then they get all that attention, they get comfortable, they forget to work out, they forget to get massages, then they back to square one. So it's like all that money they've been holding to the side for years is down the drain now. So now they gotta like really work out hard. So I don't agree with that. I do feel like women that's natural, I feel like they spend more money getting memberships to the gym. Either they going by themselves with their girlfriends or their men. Buying waist trainers, eating healthy. Stuff like that. So I feel like women that's natural, they spend more money. They put more within themselves. They kind of how would I say,
it's an investment
more than a woman that goes and stay on the table. I feel like they're cheating themselves out. The cheap goat, like Queen said. So yeah, that's my input.
What about
you?
I
feel like that was crazy.
Like I know some females that, oh, you got a perfect body. Like, I want to get my body done like yours. I'm like, well, I'm natural. Like, you finna go spend all that money for what I got when you can just go to the gym and work out, eat healthy,
But can I speak up for the BBL girls real quick on that note, though? Because going to the gym, if you don't have a certain genetic makeup, it's not going to give you a certain look.
It's not gonna work. Exactly.
Right. Family is generationally built like a box, built like SpongeBob. You going to the gym is not going to give you an hour shape. So I feel them on that. And sometimes you want your clothes to look different. Like, as a woman, I can relate to being like, oh, I wish this was a little tighter here. I wish this poked out a little bit more. Like,
well, a lot of clothes that they make now are made
for BBL. So the regular girl shop for real because
Fashion Nova, shit.
Like, my titty's not gonna fit in that. Like, they're not gonna look the same in that outfit as that girl. But I had to speak up because I just feel like, yeah, it sounds good, like go to the gym. But if you're seeking a certain aesthetic and genetically you're just not built like that,
but you have a BBL?
Huh?
You got a BBL?
No.
Oh, you were speaking up for, like you said.
I had to bring the other side of that in.
Oh, okay.
Right. She was trying to give some advice.
Okay, I got you.
I'm a gym girl through and through. Like, I love to lift weights, but like, I don't have no hips, and I'm not gonna get no hips unless I go lay on the table. Like,
I've seen women work out that slim and petite, and they got their thighs to poke out or whatever. It's ways to make your body, stand out in different ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like it's a never-ending cycle.
The squats really working
like that. It's not gonna happen unless you go get a rib removed and some lipo. Like,
but that body toned up is still looking nice. I'm telling you something. I mean, I want women
but
like.
I also don't think that they talk about like the. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I also think that they don't talk about the negatives of getting BBLs outside of being botched. But the extra attention that you're getting from men, it ain't good attention.
Because I
was like, if you want my ass, baby, you can have it. I don't like that attention. Please. But they don't talk about that because you don't have more suitors. Go ahead. You don't have more suitors. You have more people that want to screw you.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was gonna say. And then the women with the BBLs too tend to be the most naked online. Like, you get what I'm saying? So of course
you can't buy everybody to cover it up. Like,
yeah, you just paid $20,000. I guess you're gonna want to show it off for the world. Like,
hell yeah.
Right.
I'm not about to lay
some of them be having their coochies and
that.
everything out now though. So
I think I understand what you're coming from, Jackie, because I've looked at certain women and I'm like, her ass is huge. And if I had to walk outside with that motherfucker dragging behind me,
yep.
Like, as an attractive woman, you already get a certain level of
yep.
Mm-hmm. To have an ass like that you can't like to have to hide and stuff, like, no, that's too much.
You can't hide it.
Man, at this point.
And men not gonna be settled with it.
No.
Right.
Yeah, I think probably as I'm getting older, I think I felt this way probably the last 4 or 5 years, but I have had more of an appreciation for just slimmer, natural, bodies. Like, I don't really idolize the outrageously fat asses like I did when I was younger. Like, I have more of an appreciation for natural women. This natural beauty, especially Black women, their natural hair. Like, I start to really appreciate that because we live in a society where everything is so fake. You get what I'm saying? Like, we don't know what is what anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how would y'all feel if y'all man had like a BBL or something like that? Would y'all care? Let's say he like Drake or French Montana and he got his abs done and all that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I know men who have gotten their abs done, and a lot of men get work done. Like, they don't talk about it. But a lot of men do get work done. But I don't. Like, my significant other, he wanted to get that. And I was like, no, please don't do that.
And I feel like men is definitely cheating because y'all better able to get in the gym and change your diet up a little bit,
Right.
and that fat off real quick.
Right.
Metabolism.
Yes, I agree.
Fat. Our bodies are meant to store fat. So
Yes.
like, for men to go that way, it's like you just
that's just real lazy. For real.
I don't know, man.
That's
That's how I be feeling about women. Like,
where the scientists at? Because I ain't
But
even
no, it's true.
I be in the gym every motherfucking day. That shit's still on me. Like, yo.
Well, what are you eating? What is your diet? People don't incorporate that. They think they just go to the gym and automatically they're gonna lose weight.
No, I'm eat healthy.
What's healthy?
Everything.
Nah, I feel you.
I don't eat rice. I don't eat bread. I don't eat carbs. I don't eat shit.
Yeah. Now sometimes
he eat grass and he eat
I'm damn near vegan, and I'm still 230.
You said you eat grass and ass.
Oh man, what's your mouth?
Listen, man. Yo, if y'all just joining us, man, make sure y'all hit that like button on the way in. Drop a comment in the live chats, man. Let us know y'all in here. So I do got a couple of videos that I want to play and just get y'all initial reactions on. They pretty short, nothing crazy. So I'm gonna get into this first one.
Wait, before you get in, get to the super chat real quick. Not self-righteous said Anton playing chess with B Taylor. She don't even know it. Boy, smooth like a jazz tune.
That's random as hell. I know you're talking about. Shout out to the Lakeith Network, but that was just bad random. Like, we got anything else?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so I'm gonna get into this first video.
No. That's not what I'm gonna let you finish. But that's not what I said. You're misquoting me. If you're gonna quote me, you need to do so correctly. What I said was, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. I get it. I mean, okay, I understand. I get it. I get what you're saying. Okay, but you do the exact same thing. No, it's not about tit for tat. It's the fact that you have the audacity to come to me about something that I'm doing when you know you do the exact same thing. No, I'm not going to. You apologize. You apologize first and see. Exactly. That's what I thought. Okay. Right. You finish? Okay. I got things to do. I was kind of like in the middle of something. Okay. I'm going to get back to work. Thank you.
I'm sad to say, but I have experienced all of those. The same relationship, like, you know what I mean? Like, so what do y'all think about that whole I guess video right there? Is that true? Is that how women kind of, I guess, navigate in conversations or arguments nowadays?
I mean, it happens often. I mean, it just depends on the type of person they are and the type of life that they live, their childhood, based off of how they communicate with each other. But I think it takes a big person to be knowledgeable about being self-aware. A lot of us are not aware of how we come off to other people. So when we hear, especially from our man, it's like we'll take it from somebody who don't even know us like that and tell us what it is. But because it's coming from the person that we're with, it's like, no, you're attacking me. You're trying to play the victim, etc. And it can be very detrimental for a relationship.
Yeah, I've been in, and I know Jew and Ace probably been in the same situation where we might have told our significant other one thing, and then they go and hear that exact same thing from their homegirls, and now it's like, yeah, Rachel said I should do. I'm like, we literally just told you to do that, but now you want to listen to your homegirl because she said it, like, you know what I mean? And that's kind of like very frustrating at times.
Just annoying. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah. So, what are y'all? What is everybody else's thoughts on that video?
I'm not gonna say it's an all woman thing. I think that what Jackie said, as far as how you grew up watching people communicate, you know, if that's how you saw your mama or your daddy communicate, then those are the tendencies that sometimes you pick up, as well as I think sometimes it's unproductive to try to have a conversation with somebody when they're already shut down. The language that she was displaying was that she had already checked out, right? Yeah. Sometimes you got to know your audience. I understand that she could have responded and said, I'm not in the place, like I don't have the capacity to receive this right now. Can we talk about it in an hour? Like, can I have some time to like calm down, process, and then we come back to it when I can be more receptive? Like, we don't like hearing shit that is hard to hear. Man or woman, it's hard to sit there and take in feedback sometimes about stuff that feels like an attack. It probably isn't, right? It could be constructive criticism, like it could be just general feedback. Yeah. But sometimes if you're not in a place to hear that, you're going to see what you just saw, which is her finding any way to avoid having the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
as well as sometimes your partner can be like if your partner is long-winded, like you express what you needed, what I should have did differently, what could be better. And I work with couples, so I see this, right? Like you've said those things, I've received them. You've talked for another 20 minutes about this same shit.
Yep.
I'm down because, babe, I heard you. I received it. And so sometimes that body language comes after the message has already been received.
Yeah.
Right.
So
the question I want to ask too, like how can, obviously we understand, especially in our community, that effective communication is an issue. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody really learns how to communicate effectively. I want to ask y'all, like, in what ways can we teach the next generation to communicate effectively within the course of a relationship, or just, and well, I want to keep this to relationships because, you know, obviously in society we need those skills as well. But as far as to in a relationship, how can men communicate effectively? Because I think a lot of men think that when we do communicate, it can be taken as criticism or an attack, and we just tune out. You know, we feel like I'll apologize, even if I'm not in the wrong. I'll just rather apologize and not have to hear her voice or her, you know, nagging about it than just to actually sit there and keep having a conversation, like, because she checked out, quote unquote. So how can people communicate more effectively in relationships moving forward?
Like how you said though, Brittany, again, it starts in the home. It's what you're seeing. Like that's how you learn. I'm a PE and health teacher, so I have to teach my students how to use effective communication anyway. But it's like you can say it as a teacher, but it's what is demonstrated in front of them. And based off of what they see, that's just what they're gonna pick up. It's not that whole do what I say and not as I do. You have to actually mirror that to your children.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it is unlearning behaviors, and unlearning what you have to take accountability for who you are. So for example, I know I was the type of person that when somebody shut down on me, I didn't care. I still wanted you to receive it. I want you to hear what I'm saying. So I'm gonna keep going, even though I know you're showing me all the body language that you're tuned out. I'm gonna still keep going. And understanding that if I want somebody to receive me, I also have to understand how they operate, and setting that example for our children or for whoever is around us, our role models, our brothers, our sisters, our friends as well, when they come to us for advice, like, and holding them accountable too. Like, you know, when your friend come to you and tell you that they just got into an argument, not always supporting them. They're like, yeah, girl, fuck that nigga. Like, no, actually check her and let her know, like, okay, no, you're wilding out. I'm gonna need you to about face and recognize what you did and apologize. So we all kind of have to try to hold ourselves accountable for the things that we're doing and unlearn the behaviors that we are taught and recognize our flaws in ourselves in order to do better. If you knew better, you do better.
Right. I ain't trying to start no gender war or nothing, but you know, I do believe women have an issue with holding their homegirls accountable. It's like ride or die with your sister. She's not wrong. Because I'll give you a prime example. When men cheat, they're wrong, right? But when women cheat, you gave her a reason or you made her cheat.
That's not.
I mean, I've heard
women not holding women accountable because regardless, it's wrong.
Yeah, it's all wrong.
Homeboys gonna tell you what's wrong too?
Nah, my homeboys, we hold each other accountable. We be like, yo, boy, you're a fuck boy, or you wilding, or you shouldn't did that.
That's your circle, and you all have made that a thing. So someone like I have friends, we talk about that type of stuff. Like we grow, like it's one of the things we get too old. Like, gee, if you don't want to be with him, you need to leave his ass. Like,
right.
But have y'all always been like that, or is that something that's
I have
matured into?
No. See, but look, I can understand because your friend will always tell you to leave somebody, but will your friend tell you that you need to fix something about yourself? That's the part I don't think that we're getting enough.
Right? Yeah, no,
but that's a friendship. That's what a friendship is supposed to be about. If it's not, then that's women, a yes man. Other than if they're not holding you accountable.
But women have an issue because if you telling me this, you a hater. You're not my B. You're not my homegirl. I've heard it a lot. Or women say, "Oh, I don't like girls. That's why I always chill with guys."
I feel like that comes with maturity, though.
Yes,
because I've been through that in my early 20s. I had a lot of yes people, like they just let me run rampant and do whatever the hell I want. And then I had gotten into a relationship, and he used to check me like, "Your friends literally let you say and do whatever you want because they are scared of you. Like, nobody wants to hold you accountable for the actions that you are doing. And then when I've gotten older and matured and started changing my behaviors and getting a circle around me that had the same mindset, I wasn't going through the same things anymore. I had to recognize and reflect in hindsight, like, oh wow, I really used to be wilding. Like, that's crazy.
Some people have superficial friendships, right? So when your friendship is superficial, you don't really care what she over there doing. Like, y'all might just go out, kick it.
You just trying to get drunk.
All of that. You have genuine friendships, like where you want to see them do the best for themselves. You will be more inclined to step in and be like, I've had to ask my homegirls before, like, you kind of tweaking. Like, why did you do that? What was the thought process? I'm trying to understand. I don't think that was the right thing to do. But sometimes it takes certain women to get to grow a little to get there. And I think there are other things that come along with superficial friendships where, like, you realize that's not what you want no more. Like, you want real girlfriends that are about their business, and what comes with that is also like personal development.
Right.
Yeah, I think I talked about seeing it in the household. I think on our show we're advocates of obviously the nuclear family, the Black nuclear family, and fathers being more active in the households. And I think we have to get back to seeing more fathers in the household, because you're not going to be able to see that communication effectively if you don't have that dynamic with growing up. If you've never seen it, then you want, even men and women, you're not going to know how to adapt to it. You get what I'm saying? Like, so if you didn't have a father growing up, you never seen your mom be able to communicate effectively with a man, and most likely your mom probably had a lot of toxic relationships growing up with men, so you don't know how to properly communicate effectively within a relationship. Just like a man, if he didn't have a father in his life, he didn't see his father properly communicate with his mother, of course he's not gonna be able to know how to communicate effectively within the concept of a relationship with another woman. You know what I mean? So I think we have to obviously get back to the nuclear family and having more fathers in the household, and not even just fathers in the household and marriages. We have to have more successful marriages, like, you know what I mean? Because we could talk about marriage all day and night, but if we talk about high divorce rates, then marriages is kind of pointless. So we need more successful marriages where people could actually grow up and see successful communication and know how to work things out without feeling like I got to shut down, or I got to just, I got to be the defensive all the time or dismissive. And because that's not going to help. That's not going to benefit anybody in that relationship,
Yeah.
But just to piggyback, go. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, just to challenge and tweak what you said a little bit. Sometimes I don't even think it's necessarily about like nuclear family versus single mom home, right? Like, are the adults in the picture learning the skills that they need? And if they don't, they need some therapy. They need to go to some form of communication or relationship coaching to learn those skills, because you could have two parents in the household who don't know how to communicate.
Absolutely.
And you can have two co-parents who've got to a great place communication-wise, who are able to understand where each other is coming from. They don't do the petty shit. So, like, I'm all for more marriages, more families, but also, like, that leads back to my original point, was like, is the individual work being done? Because then when we bring that together, we can have better communication skills.
I agree with
Right.
Bree, what you gonna say?
So how would you suggest the work be done? Like, do you suggest that they go to therapy, or because if they don't know, what to do, how would they start? Like, what do you think the starting point should be?
So I'm big on therapy, but of course, some people are hesitant. They don't have, the resources or the access. So there are also resources that are available to people, right? Like, there are therapists who do, YouTube, like I have a YouTube video on communication styles and how that shows up. There are books, there are other, like I said, things online for free where people are talking about these skills and what they look like. Learning communication style is naturally. How does that typically mesh with other people? How has communication issues shown up throughout your life, right? Like, the information and the education is out there, even if it isn't therapy. It's just you taking the initiative to be like, I keep having this issue with people. Something about me is wrong and how I'm dealing with others. Let me go, like, take a communication style quiz online and see what it say and why I could be having.
Well, how do we prioritize that, getting like that information to our younger, generation? Because again, somebody has said about unlearning behavior, and what the thing that's consistent about both men and women is when you get a certain age, it's very hard to unlearn certain behaviors. So I think obviously this is much more mature panel. We can all sit back now at our ages and be like, damn, you know what? I want to take that time to, develop those communication skills. But I didn't prioritize those communication skills in my 20s, where it really I would have developed those skills going into my 30s and 40s. So how can we prioritize those type of effective communication skills at a younger age and not wait till we get so later into life where we went through a lot of traumatizing relationships and we have so much trauma and baggage from failed relationships. So you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the beauty now is like the younger generation, even though I feel like they be too much in grown folks' business, shit, like being online with us. Like I have some younger clients who are like in college or in their early 20s, and they know stuff that I didn't learn until my mid to late, my mid 20s. And I think it's because they are kind of exposed more. We're having more of these conversations online about communication, about boundaries, about relationships, about toxic and dysfunctional relationships and what those things look like. So I think that they are already a bit more mature in the mental health, emotional wellness type of like arena because they're being exposed to these conversations that millennials just started really having over the last 5 to 10 years online and in public with other people.
Right? Yes.
So we got to pass that down. Like if you know some of this stuff,
I honestly think that I think these type of courses should be taught in schools. I mean,
I teach them. I teach decision making. We talk about the different forms of holistic health where you're physically healthy, mentally healthy, socially healthy, spiritually healthy, intellectually healthy, environmentally healthy. So it's talked about, but it just
we got to push those more on a national level.
It is for the kids to engage with that type of conversation.
Yeah, but we got to prioritize that more on a national level. Like I get what you do is great, but that's not really on a national level. I think sometimes we look at our government and they would rather push like gender ideologies and how you identify as a gender over things that really could benefit us more as a society. I think as obviously productive.
But that is on a national level. That's in the curriculum for every school.
I ain't never heard of this. Is my first time.
Because we're talking about now.
I know, but it's called social emotional learning is a component that
is
okay, all right.
It's mandatory.
Like every school.
Okay.
So are they going into the nitty gritty of like communication styles and skills? They could be touching on it, but again, like depending on who's in charge of that, they decide how in depth and what areas are covered and stuff.
Yeah, because there's a lot of information.
Yeah, it is included in the school system. But
and to also add, the workforce is also providing trainings on emotional intelligence and holistic styles of just being healthy and promoting wellness. So that's going on a lot too. So I feel like if they continue to do that, organizations, and allow that to happen, then it will become more of a common thread.
Okay, that's fair. We got any super chats, Keen? All right, so let me get to this next topic. Obviously, y'all and Herbion had this conversation a million times throughout the course of these podcasts, but it's something that obviously with more modern day like approach with obviously women earning having more earning potential than they did back in the days. So this topic is a 50-50 approach to dating the best way to ensure a healthy and balanced relationship? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's from person to person. Everybody has their own way of doing things when it comes to dating. Some men won't allow you to pay for shit. Some men don't want to pay for shit. And it just really depends on what it is that works for them and what works for you as a woman. We all have our standards, and we need to meet people that can meet those standards. There needs to be some flexibility, but if you know that you want to be a stay-at-home wife for the rest of your life, that's what you have to go for. I mean, there's no point of settling for somebody that you're going to be unhappy with. But I don't think anything is going to be 50-50. I think somebody in the relationship is always going to give more in some space, some way or another. And you should be okay with that if you care about your partner and you know that they're not there to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say 50-50, like how do we define what that looks like? Are we talking 50-50 finances? Are we talking who pours in more energy or more skill set, or like that all boils down to what you value. Like some men like who are financially stable, they don't value a woman's money. That's not what they value about her. They value her youthfulness. How fine is she? You know, can she carry babies, or can she cook, or like does she bring him peace? If she cooperative, like they value, men and women tend to value different things. And so I think that when we have
can we talk about the average person? Because we always have these conversations and we go straight to the super wealthy men. That's the 1%. You know, can we talk about the average
men? I'm talking about like men who probably earn over $75,000 a year.
Yeah, they're still traditional men, regardless of whether they're rich or not.
So yeah, when I'm speaking like men who are financially stable, I just literally mean financially stable. I'm not talking about like celebrities, ball players, nothing like that. There are men who were raised in a certain way and they value different things about a woman. And then there are men like I have homies who are like, no, my girl needs to have her shit together. She needs to be pulling in some income. And it's not that he wants her income. He just wants somebody who's his equal in that way.
Right.
Okay. So, who else? Anybody else got anything to say? But y'all can just chip in. Y'all don't gotta just wait for me. Y'all can just chip in. You know what I mean? I know Ace been kind of quiet. You got anything to say about this?
50-50. I just think, like to piggyback off what they're saying, it just depends on the relationship, and you gotta do what works for your relationship. At the end of the day, if you find somebody and they want to contribute to your household and that's what you're looking for, then cool. Nah. If it's not, then move on to the next. Man, people just gotta go where they want it and where it works. Like at the end of the day.
I think when it's entitled or it's expected, like men, they love to say like, "Let me offer, let me volunteer." Don't come in the gate being like, "You need to pay my bills" and blah blah. Like, and I'm not doing that because it's like.
And I think that's when the line got blurred because like I was gonna do this, but now that you like, I don't want to do it no more. You know what I mean? So it's like,
they gotta play it cool sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah, I think.
But then,
the thing I find interesting about this modern dating is that in society we have adapted to everything in society except like relationships and gender norms. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because you know, I find women, they always want a traditional man, but they want to be selectively traditional. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, the man, we all understand gender roles. We all understand gender roles when it comes to men. But when we talk about women, then it's like, oh, well, women doesn't have to do that. And a lot of times when we talk about, you know, women being stay-at-home, you know, wives, women look at that as, I'm not going to be a slave to a man. You know, I've heard several women say that, oh, you want me to, I'm nobody's slave. And they look at household chores as a slave, and that's what our grandparents used to do, and I'm not doing that. You get what I'm saying? So it's very much that women understand what traditional values are, but then when men expect traditional values from our women, then it's like, well, this ain't back in the days, or I'm not a slave, I'm not your slave, and that it becomes very confusing. Like, you know what I mean? The selective traditional roles and things of that nature.
Women like that, it's like this little corner over here. Because a lot of us don't feel that way. A lot of us understand that if a man is paying all the bills, baby, you better be cooking and cleaning. Okay.
Yes.
No. That's not what's happening.
Pulling your weight. But I also feel like sometimes the women whose opinions get inflated and spread around, these are birds. Y'all are talking to birds.
Yes, absolutely.
The majority,
a lot of birds. I don't know, like
birds of a feather flocking together because they are here.
Flip that. I feel like men. I've seen comment sections of men picking and choosing about this whole traditional versus. The reality is, and where we are today, like everybody needs to be a hybrid. We can pull stuff that used to work traditionally, and we have to adapt to where we are.
I'm not saying, but I don't see there's much flexibility in what a man could change. He still has to be the provider, the protector. Everything traditional about him still kind of stayed the same. The only thing that changed was women have the opportunity to work. Now they got more money in their pockets, so now they feel like they don't need to be doing the stuff that kept them in the house in the first place.
But have you talked to women who are the breadwinners? Because that's where I think things flip, right? So I feel like as a woman who, let's say you make way more money than your man, and he is okay. He can move his ego and his pride out the way with pulling his weight around the household. I guarantee you they have just as much of a copacetic relationship as long as she still allows him to feel like a man, feel like a leader, and he is willing to do the stuff that is traditionally for women.
I even heard a woman that said she was a breadwinner, right? But the man still paid the bills at the same time. You get what I mean? So
he signed up for that?
Huh?
I've heard of that.
Right, because I think certain things like, did he agree to that? Because that's like
exactly.
I'm saying if he's still doing his part and he's still paying the bills, whether he's not looking at your finances,
right?
Wouldn't you still feel like we should follow a gender role?
I feel like she should still be pulling her weight in other ways if she's not paying no bills.
Well, exactly. So, but the difference is, I'll use Gabrielle Union as an example. Mm-hmm. She recently just said, well, since I started paying most of the bills, I feel like I could fuck niggas if I want to.
Okay, well, she throwed off.
We're gonna bring up the conversation. Let's really bring it.
I'm just saying, with women having the opportunity to have more money, they feel like as a man, they don't have to respect a relationship.
No, the Gabrielle Union situation, the detail that you're missing is he started cheating. So if I'm paying all the bills and you're cheating, I'm gonna go do me. That's what she said. Right?
I didn't see her say that. The quote said,
"You picking what you saw."
It had the quotation. It said, "Oh, because I was paying, I felt the right that I could cheat."
The headline that they led with,
right.
Actually said. She said that man started cheating on her. So what woman in her right mind is going to pay all the bills and you're cheating and not go do her?
So why would she not just leave him though?
Exactly. That's a different conversation. You're right. Yeah. She could have left him, but
you ain't doing.
We could say that on both ends.
That's right. Exactly.
No,
you think if a man paying the bills and his wife cheating, he's staying with?
Absolutely not.
Oh no.
No.
We want to
you can say that on both ends. Like,
she was young,
but what I'm saying is that they don't. Everybody. First of all, there are men who stay with their women after they cheat. Let's don't get it twisted. It happens very often. It's not as bad
as often. I don't know about very often. It happens.
I'm trying to tell you,
it happens more than you all think. And
yes, I can agree with that because I believe
your homie's not going to come and tell you.
I believe men would be ashamed of telling people or letting it be known.
Right. Exactly. It bruises the ego. It bruises the ego.
But a lot of these dudes, they out. I know I'm one of them.
I'm too. I'm too.
So what is it? So real quick, what is it about a woman working and paying bills that's a turnoff? Because listen, in my community, I go to the Spanish, restaurant. I see the Hispanic women working behind the counter. I see them, and they got husbands and all. I go to the Chinese restaurant. I see the Asian woman working, with her husband. I go to all these the Indian, communities, and I see their women equally working with their husband. And for some reason, when it's like when Black women got to work, I can't work and be masculine, or I can't work. I mean, work and be feminine, or work and be catered to you. So, yeah, I don't understand, because I go and I see these other communities, and their women are working, and they're still going home and treating their husbands with respect. And I can't understand.
But it's the Black women that own the businesses. So it's not like they working for their husband, because it's the women that's owning the businesses in the Black community.
I think what the issue is that people are saying this 50-50 dynamic, right? But they don't understand that, okay, if both parties are working, then both parties have to contribute 50-50 in other areas. Like sometimes you have to cook, sometimes you have to clean.
Exactly.
It has to go both ways. If we're both out there pounding the pavement, you can't expect me to come home and then cook all the time, clean all the time, clean after the kids all the time. Like the generation that we live in today, it doesn't make it feasible to do that because of the work that we are doing in today's society. But
and in that same note, if I'm paying these motherfucking bills, your money ain't just your money. And of course, I'm not dictating how it's spent, but I definitely got to say so on how it's spent, because if I'm spending all my money and all my earnings on keeping all of us safe in this home, then we got to make a plan to do with your money that make our life easier in the future.
And I think one of the conversations that sometimes couples aren't having is budgeting, which is why finance issues leads to a lot of divorce.
Yep.
I see this up close, right?
Is it not women that's saying, "Oh, my money is my money"? Did you not hear that from women?
That's a group of women. Every woman they say
a huge group.
That group.
I'm not in that group.
No, but we got look. We talking about holding women accountable. We said that right before. We set y'all up, so we need y'all to hold them accountable.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
It's a big percentage of women who are comfortable with their man taking care of them, which is not wrong. It's not wrong at all. Our job is to take care of you guys, right? But at the same time, with you guys now having the opportunity to have your own money and resources and building and all this other shit, getting businesses, all that shit, lashes, whatever it is, I don't give a fuck what it is. Now that money that you're saving on because you don't have to spend because I'm spending my money, now we got to work on it. That's not just your money anymore.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's it.
But I think that's the discrepancy. I think some men are having is if I'm contributing.
That goes on both people because are we agreeing and signing up for that? As a man, if she's saying this is my money, are you saying I'm still gonna be here? Like
why do we have to agree? We didn't agree when I was paying all the bills. It wasn't no contract signed. Like
talking about before you all get to merging finances. These are conversations that couples have to have about what the financial expectations are. There is we're working off assumptions. Somebody's gonna end up with a very shitty face at the end of it. So I think that's right. Like you don't get to hoard your money while and that's why I don't think like, I believe in percentages, right? And I believe in that being prorated based on people's income. If you make 30% more than me, all right, you may pay 30% more than me, but I'm contributing something. And most women, I know, it may not be paying all the bills, but they want to contribute something because they want to feel like they have a hand in this relationship.
But is it like a marriage or like you just, boyfriend, girlfriend?
That's both.
I
same shit. Y'all building.
I want to hear what she got to say. Go ahead, Candy.
No, actually, is it like y'all talking about marriage or just like
what's the difference? What's the difference in y'all?
Because like I don't know, like me personally, if a guy, which I never experienced this, but if a guy was making more money than me and we're in a relationship, yeah, I take care of the household. I buy cleaning stuff, I buy stuff, for the house. I make sure that he got clothes on his back, shoes on his feet. I make sure he looking good when he go out the house. You know what I'm saying? That's my job. Like I wouldn't say my money is my money, but like you're not gonna touch my money. I'm gonna give it to you because I'm a giver. But it's just like if you need something, I got you at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not gonna be available for you just to touch when you want to, but if you need it, just say hey, or whatever. Or you talking to me, I'm gonna figure out. Oh, you need something? Okay, I'm gonna go to the bank, or here go my card, or whatever the case is. If you need something or whatever. But marriage wise, I understand that. But like being a girlfriend, I don't know.
You're speaking to like joints versus separate accounts, and even some married couples don't have joint accounts. Like it's just what is the agreement that we're making? Who's going to cover what?
And I feel like once you're in a relationship, you guys have to come to a compromise where
he got clothes and shoes, make sure he's in the house, make sure you cooking. If y'all both working, take turns. You know what I'm saying? You cook.
Well, I'm not shacking up, so we ain't got to worry about that.
Whatever, like take turns. It's teamwork. At the end of the day, like don't just have one person have a set job because it's like a woman taking care of the kids by herself. Y'all in a marriage or in a relationship and she doing all the work with the kids, she's gonna get burnt out. You know what I'm saying? Take the kids to the park, watch stuff or whatever the case, she gonna get pampered or whatever. Like it's teamwork. I feel like it's 50-50. Some people don't think it's 50-50, but I feel like, hey, if my man doing this, I'm doing that. If we going out, hey, I'm gonna say, hey baby, you getting off work late. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got some clothes, in the bathroom, you know what I'm saying? Or on the bed, take a shower, meet me here, or whatever the case is. Let's go get some dinner. Tired, let's go sit down somewhere and wind down. You know what I'm saying? Get some liquor or whatever. Get some hookah and, relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never like had to experience or know any female that's like one-sided like that. It's like all my friends that I know, like, if he got your back, you got his back at the end of the day. Like I have that they talking about.
You know, my mom has always told me, and my mom has been married for over 20 plus years. She always tell me like, son, there's no such thing as 50-50. She always says it's 100-100. You know what I mean? And I think if we have more of that mindset instead of this 50-50, because then that automatically looks at like, you know, oh, I have to go half with this person. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And I'm not saying as far as just the finances, but again, we do live in a different era than we did 40, 30 years ago. Women can now contribute to the household, whether it's, you know, you contributing more to the savings account because, like Ju said, you're not paying no bills or whatever the case is. I think men just want that. We want that comfort to know, okay, well, if I'm busting my ass working all of these hours, because I think about this, I'm a person who values family, and I don't want to be that father that has to work 80 to 90 hours a week to support my family, because I want to be with my kids. I want to spend time with my kids. You see what I'm saying? And I don't think that is healthy for me to work all of those hours. And then if I do lose my job, God forbid, I don't need you to look at me as any less of a man. And I think that's where it comes down to, like, you know, oh, well, you know, if he's not paying the bills, then I can't treat him with the same level of respect or whatever. He's not a real man. I hear that all the time. You know, he's not a real man. We had a woman on the show like, oh, if you're not, you know, the head of the house and you're not paying the bills, are you even a real man and stuff like that? So, like, again, we have all of these, you know, social norms in the modern day era that we have adapted to, whether it's alternative lifestyles, whether it's all of this other stuff that we have adapted to. For some reason, we have not adapted to the modern day relationships and marriages. And, you know, obviously we're different in the Western society than it is in the Eastern society, where women don't have the same rights and they don't have the same financial opportunities. So I don't know. I just think we got to have more conversations about what a healthy interdependent relationship looks like. You know what I mean?
And I also think that we need to talk more about depleting the gender roles that we have for both men and women when it comes to relationships. I really do. Like, I know plenty of flourishing marriages where the man is a stay-at-home husband, great father, homeschools the kids. It may not be respectful for a lot of men, but it works based off of whatever type of relationship y'all have and who's bringing in the finances. And I think some people are so emasculated by it. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think something else that will help us be aligned with people who think the same way we do is like questions that we're asking on the first 2 dates. Like, I'm very forthcoming with asking, like, you know, if you want to get married or whatever, like, how do you see your household running? What does that look like? You think you're more traditional or modern? Like, what would that look like for you? So I can know, are we on the same page as that? Because if he says, well, you know, my wife home cooking and cleaning and like all this other stuff, I have that information now. And for men, I think it's very important to see where a woman's head at. If she they saying like, yeah, my man needs to pay all my bills and, you know, that's it, you need to dub her ass. Like, forget what's sitting in front of you. Like, those are the issues that show up later, and then we're all pissy about like, well, she don't never buy nothing, and she won't pay nothing on these bills, and I'm stressed out, and I'm
sure. But
when you make the decision, you
used to cook and clean, make your day easy. You know what I'm saying? Have your plate ready, have your boots ready, whatever. But now they got you. They reel you in, they get you in there, they hook you. And then they drop everything. They don't say hello. They don't cook for you. They don't clean for you. They don't fuck you. They don't talk to you. I'm saying that's a lot. What a lot of dudes is going through right now. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it's crazy that y'all can understand that, but then like when women be like, "Oh, I had a baby with him and he changed after the baby," y'all be like, "No, you picked that nigga." Like,
I think anytime you have a child out of wedlock, to me, there's no excuse for that. That's just me personal. Like, you chose to have a child out of wedlock. That's
I'm saying it's men and women, they both change sometimes after they get comfortable.
Yeah, and kids typically change. You don't really know how good of a father or a mother a person is going to be once they have their child. That's a surprise in itself.
That's true. I could agree with that part.
Yeah, that part a little different. But like I said, again, I don't know if it's necessarily a fit. Like I said, I'm not looking at my significant other when I get married to pay 50% of the bills or whatever. But I do, like Ju said, if she is working, I do expect her to contribute financially to something as for the family. It's not for myself. You ain't got to buy me shit, but something for this family. I need you to contribute towards this family.
But can I comment on something real quick? Because we never said that the modern woman cannot clean and cook for their spouse if they're going to work as well and contributing to the household. That's not what's being said. That can happen as well. Like,
no, majority of them, well, that we interview, you know, most say that they don't feel like they should believe in gender roles. Women shouldn't have to cook or clean, even if they're not.
They can't be feminine because they got to go into the workforce. And this, like, we've heard a lot from different. And we're not, again, it's not all women. You know what I mean? But when we do have these conversations, it's a lot of them echoing the same sentiments. You get what I'm saying? I can't be. I'm in my masculine X, Y, and Z. I can't be feminine. If I have to work, don't expect me to cook for you. I can't have the energy to have sex with you because I gotta work. Like, it's a lot of excuses that we have to deal with. You know,
but cooking and cleaning isn't a feminine role. That's a life skill.
No,
cooking and cleaning is a life skill.
If you're not working. If you're not working and I'm handling everything financially, I think that should be your niche. You get what I'm saying? Where
you gotta make up for it somewhere.
If you're saying that's a life skill,
that's not what's being translated though. I want to be clear because I feel like y'all be mixing in these messages that y'all are receiving from women, and let's be clear about what majority of women are saying. If I have to go out and I have to work just as much as you, that means whatever happens at home, we also split. Exactly. Some women are going out and working, and they're still carrying the majority of the household and emotional labor, especially if there are kids involved. So all women are saying is, if I match you work-wise and we both bringing money into this household, and that money is also being equally allocated or majority equally allocated, you're gonna help with this cooking, cleaning, and cleaning.
I can hear that, and I think the disconnect comes from like when a dude like me, right? And I don't have a really issue with I cook more than my lady, and I pay all the bills here. So you get what I'm saying? So I could sit here and say I have a discrepancy with her, but she does other things that
make up for it.
And make up for it.
Right.
So you get what I'm saying? So, but I think the disconnect comes with where other people issue, and younger women who are now getting the chance to make money or whatever the case may be, they've seen I'm not a woman, of course, but they've seen their mother go through a certain experience where they feel like they don't want to follow that. So they already got their mind blocked on whatever a man telling them to do, I'm not going to do. So it prevents them from having sometimes healthy relationships.
I think sometimes and seeing their moms do it all. Like when you witness, and I think some men can speak to that. My mama,
it's life. We all got to do it. Nobody's gonna do it for you. You got to do it yourself.
That's why. And then when we talk about quote unquote gender roles, and we're like, oh, women are quick to say, well, cooking and cleaning, that should be that's a life skill. Okay, well, working and being an adult and maintaining your own bills is also a life skill. Like,
I agree.
Like, so it's like we kind of pick and choose when we want to try to.
No, but that's not a question though. We agree with all of that.
Okay,
but I
think you should. The strong independent shit.
Feels like, say if you get hurt at work or you lose your job or crisis happen, you should be with a woman or a man that, you know what I'm saying? If a woman is the breadwinner or whatever, like you should be with a woman that can take care of the bills if something happens to you. You shouldn't want to be with a woman that just needs you for every little thing. Like, I don't understand that. Like when women like, oh, if he loses his job with this and this case, like he got to pay all the bills. Yeah, he can pay all the bills, but if something happens to him, because I experienced that before, if something happens to him, he get hurt or lose his job, I didn't make sure those bills are getting paid still.
Those bills got to be paid, but are you looking at him at a lower level now? I think that's
no, but I think he looks at himself as a lower level.
We had a woman who was married for 15 years on the show. I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna send it to you.
I'm telling you,
women love to emasculate men. Y'all do that without finances. Like, so of course, when the finances happen, of course, you want to demasculate somebody.
That's what I want y'all to understand. When I said y'all got this little pool over here, they don't speak for all of us.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, but the 2% out of the 98 don't speak for the majority. We speak to the majority of women of what we hear for the majority.
That's not the majority.
It can be like two women. Well, they not us. Like,
women.
I don't cheat. Ace don't cheat. I can't sit there and be like, well, damn, we don't cheat. We understand men.
I'm saying, as women, because we know other women and we're around like-minded women. It's not 2% for us. Like these are women who don't get interviewed, who don't get spoken to. Like I said, these platforms like to talk to birds because they have problems.
Yes.
Let's be real. That's
right.
You think that we go to on IG like, yo, hey, are you a bird?
We done seen y'all. We done seen
these regular women.
No,
I do believe that certain women need to be more vocal in their situation. Like, I would love to speak to more married women, but they're too busy having happy relationships to talk about on a podcast. You get what I'm saying?
Because people are negative about marriage. I wouldn't want to put my marriage on blast either because people always have negative stuff to say about
it. We can't criticize, and I'm not saying y'all doing it, but we can't criticize these platforms when they are trying to have the conversations, and all we seen is the majority of the women that have that mindset. Then when they try to bring on speak about this, now I don't want to talk. We need more women to step up and talk about the positive, successful marriages, and even more men to step up and talk about more positive, successful marriages, because obviously we keep hearing one side of the story. You know
and
what I mean?
That's what gets perpetuated because that's what goes viral, and that is my only
right.
With the whole industry is like a lot of these women are on multiple platforms, and it's because they're problematic, and that's what draws attention. So people can argue about it, so people can debate about it. There are people like me who I'm like, I have to remind men when they like get defensive. I'm like, I'm not disagreeing with you. You're right. What you're asking for is not unreasonable, right? But like sometimes we jump into these conversations or these comment threads or whatever, and I have a theory that I feel like so many people are just internalizing relationship and like dysfunctional trauma that is not theirs. You haven't even really experienced this, but you come online and you perpetuate these narratives because that's all we see. That's all we confirm.
And some of that stuff be fake. They be paying the people to do that stuff. That stuff don't even be real.
People in real relationships do not sometimes be sitting and going back and forth about this type of shit. Like it's just
right.
That's fair. That's fair. I do agree with that.
Because I know for me, in a relationship, in a marriage, I'm just gonna do what's necessary. Like I'm already gonna be put into a place where I'm going to do what is right for my relationship, for my family. Like I'm not even gonna ask no questions. I'm just gonna do it. So I don't understand the whole narrative of oh, I make this much money, so I'm gonna do this. I make this much money, or I don't make this. I'm just gonna put myself in a position to where I'm gonna do what I need to do for our family to make sure that we straight. So if my husband is making the majority of the money and providing, I'm going to do everything else, like to be equal.
Hold on, Jill. We do got these super chats, but there's one in particular that I want. I want Ace to read, man, because this guy,
Andre and Andrea, said my wife is a corporate tax accountant here in Colombia. I get a hot plate daily. Only modern women say this, that they can't do both. Other cultures, women work, build, and take care of home. Why not ours?
And that's what I was alluding to when I said I go to these other, communities and I see the women working just as much alongside their men, and they still go home and have a certain level of respect for their men when they get home as well. And if we're going to talk about America, like Black men out-earn Hispanic men, as far as total income, and it's safe to say they get treated a lot better at home than a lot of Black men. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they don't make nearly as much as Black men, but they still get treated better from their women.
Be out there selling roses and coming home still cooking and cleaning.
I think it depends on like culture, because my Caribbean background, we still do this for men. We will go out and work hard and come back, and you'll still have a plate of food every night. So I think culture plays into a role in that as well. Are we talking about like Black African, or are we talking about Black Caribbean, or are we talking about Black American? I feel like culture plays heavy into those roles. And I think we're forgetting how much culture teaches us and how much we pass that down so we can learn from that. And that's a part of the relationship dynamic as well.
And generational culturally, right? We already know other cultures outside of Black people, Black Americans, African Americans, right? They have been able to build for years within their community. They always have stuck together. They've always built businesses together. Their cultural reference and generational cycles and traditions are way more ingrained than Black people. We have been separate. Black History Month, we have been separated for many generations, whether that be through slavery, whether that be because of Black men getting incarcerated, having higher incarceration rates, the crack epidemic, all of these different things that have happened throughout society that have disrupted how our community functions.
Absolutely.
So, because of that, we have a lot of single mom homes.
True.
So no, in single mom homes, mom is going to work all of these hours. She's coming home. She's hopefully making sure the kids have eaten or are taken care of, or the oldest sibling is supporting her in that role. So a lot of Black women and Black men who are raised in single family households did not grow up witnessing their mom go to work all day and make their husband a hot plate because there was no husband.
So the only thing I find very interesting is Black women know exactly, the obstacles that are facing our communities and especially Black men. But where is the grace? Like, because I know exactly what the issue is and what has contributed to these, fatherless homes. But where is the grace towards Black men? You know what I mean? And today's society, because we don't seem to give Black men that grace, even though we understand the obstacles that Black men have to face in America. Our women still don't give us that grace.
There's no room for error.
It's like we know everything. You just stated everything that helped destroy the nuclear family, and y'all still don't give us that grace. Like, hey, we understand this is what happened. I understand it might be a little harder for you, and that's no excuse for you to be a bum. But there seems to not be a level of grace there towards Black men from our women.
And it needs to be.
I agree. I think there could be more, but I'm not going to ignore that there are women out here who coddle Black men, who allow them to come and live in their homes and eat their food and use their money or whatever. Like when Black men say like you need money to be loved, there are plenty of Black women out here loving broke ass Black men. Like, and that's the reality, right? Like there's a whole culture around like men when it get cold outside, being able to go and like boo up with somebody. There is a woman out there who will accept and be okay with that, right? It comes down to sometimes women of a certain caliber, like men wanting that type of woman and thinking that, okay, she should come all the way down here and meet me at my very bare minimum to accept that.
I don't think a woman should have to reduce her standards for a good man. You get what I'm saying? There's good men out there.
Feel like that.
But women choosing, as Eli would say, the Pookie and Ray Rays, giving them so much opportunities over and over, that the wrong toxic nigga over the man that might be on your level, but you don't want to have this person on your level because you might be held accountable for something, rather than this man have to listen to you and your shit because he ain't got no options.
Right.
Now,
it's easy to kick that nigga out your crib when he disagree with you.
When a man with standards and a man that's going might be able to put you in your place and make you understand how shit works, you like, well, oh shit. Now give me this bum nigga back because I can tell him and he listen. And when I curse him out and I say get out my house, he gotta listen to me. Y'all listen to a man that's gonna lead you in the right direction.
Absolutely. No. Let's remember the only reason I brought up the bum nigga narrative is because it was alluded that some Black women or most Black women don't give Black men grace, and that's not true.
But yeah, you talking about giving grace to Pookies and Ray Rays? Like, what they got to do with the good men that's out here?
Black men. So now y'all want to.
But what else is it that we need to worry about? What else do we need to?
If y'all gave that same grace to actual good men, y'all would be.
Because what makes
okay? So outside of the Pookies and Ray Rays, outside of the
have that same energy for good men,
what grace do we need to be giving men? What grace do we need to be giving good men outside of the Pookies and Ray Rays?
Same grace that y'all giving them.
What is it? Tell me what is it that they need?
The same femininity they get in the consideration, the cooking and cleaning, the same grace basically that they get.
Cooking and cleaning.
No, I believe. I think I think y'all should communicate better, articulate y'all words, and be able to reciprocate what a man is telling you. You get what I'm saying? Like with these dudes, you guys are leading where they have to just listen to you. So when it's more combative when you have to hear somebody and you got to compromise some thoughts that you already have set in your mind.
Yeah, and Grace is just.
There are some women who let's call them bosses, right? Who own their shit, who got a lot going for themselves, who want to let men lead. I'm one of them. Like I want you to in my life and for me to be hands off. Like I want you to lead. I want to give you that power. I want to trust you to be able to make good decisions on our behalf. All of that. But there are some men who are not ready to step into that role either.
No, I think they wait.
I don't think y'all know how to attract those men.
Finances, and I think that's an issue. Like, oh, if you're not paying all the bills, then you're not the leader of this house. You can't tell me what to wear. You can't tell me what to do. You can't everything is broke down to how much a man is spending rather than what a man is really offering you. You get what I'm saying?
Well, we broke the whole bill thing down, and we said it's not unreasonable for that to be.
No, it's not.
No, I'm talking about these boss women. Boss women don't listen, to your boss women. You get what I'm saying?
Well, you don't have to deal with those boss women.
Of course not. We were speaking on them, so I'm just saying those boss women.
Yeah, but
listening to men.
But when you say you don't have to deal with them, right? We don't, and then what are we being met with? Oh, they just can't handle a boss woman, or they just can't handle a strong black woman. Like they say that all the time.
All types of stuff that is unnecessary. We know that people are going to give backlash when they get their feelings hurt or they're projecting. So that's just life, and you have to learn how to look past that to be able to accept people that are actually healthy for you.
Yeah, and I think we do, men and women. We have to learn how to attract the type of people that we want.
Yes.
I agree.
What I see a lot of the time, and we were talking about, like, I think one of the questions was like, why do plain Janes get white? And I don't even believe that is the case sometimes. Sometimes it is let's go back to the BBL, the certain aesthetic type of women who attract all of this attention, and she look good. And let's say this. So sometimes for men, right, they work to get to a certain point in their careers and their lives where they're making the type of money that they want. They feel like they can finally attract the type of woman that they want. And that's who they go for. Not understanding that, like, sometimes those women have superficial values. You want some non-superficial values. So instead of finding someone with non-superficial values, you want to go after the girl that you feel like you're finally in a position to get financially, knowing that her values do not align with yours. And instead of finding who's aligned with you, you'd rather get her to change her values
and bitch about it.
No, that's a men with resources will utilize their resources to find more attractive women, just like attractive women will use their attractiveness to find men with more money that don't necessarily have the qualities that's going to sustain a long, successful relationship. They just have the money.
So that's part of the problem.
So it's like, oh well, he got the bag. You know what I mean? That's why when some women go get these BBLs, they're just. The only thing that they're looking for is the bag. You get what I'm saying? Oh, I want to find me a man that has the bag. They don't understand how the man is going to treat you if he values family. If he's, you know what I mean? This money supersedes everything and just goes to the top of the list. Everything else I could deal with. Okay, he might not be that good in bed, or he might not be as romantic, or he might not be, a good communicator, but I could overlook those things because he has the financial means of providing a lifestyle for me. You know what I mean? So.
Average Joe ain't getting none of those compromises.
That's
true. Nigga, he average and I gotta deal with this other shit. Like
average Joe.
But you know what I really feel like? I feel like if some men spent more time developing parts of their character that good women like, whether it be your emotional intelligence, you're spiritually in tune, your mental health is in check, like. You don't sit in comment sections arguing with women all day. Develop some of these characteristics, women would have more to seek out other than just money. But some men don't come.
Are these the same women that use your emotions against you?
No, I'm not talking about you.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of them too.
No, that's not who I'm talking about. But I'm saying
I feel like out there that we got.
In general, I feel like
I tell you. A man will tell you, oh, I had this happen when I was younger, and this shit been fucked. Yeah, that's why your mom did this to you. What happened? Yeah, your bitch ass always crying. I told you how I felt. Now a nigga always crying.
It's
All right,
shitty.
but that's like, what do y'all find these girls? I mean,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what kind of women y'all?
It's your next door neighbor. I know it's somebody in the 50-mile radius from all of y'all. Come on, let's stop it.
But again, like I said, I love to have these conversations, and I don't never want to discredit y'all experiences. When y'all talk about the type of men y'all dealt with, and I can sit here and say, yo, what kind of men have y'all dealt with? Because that's easy to say, like, you get what I'm saying. But I want to hear y'all out, and I want to understand the experiences that y'all go through. So I think it is a bit disingenuous when you just say, what kind of women are you dealing with, like, because I can say the same thing about the guys that you dealt with, like, you know what I'm saying. If you saying there's no leaders out there, or there's the bum dudes out there, what kind of men are you dealing with? Because I know plenty of men out here that's successful, that's making
and you would be right.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So.
But it's also, so one thing I'll say about that too is there's a bit of a difference when we talk about how people get into relationships and how dating looks. Is like those men who are the fuller package, they don't be looking to settle down like that. They have the cream of the crop.
Or they don't look to us, the average Jane.
I think no, they have the cream of the crop. I think they're trying to filter out the cream of the crop to find that woman to settle down with. Like, you know what I mean? Like because at that point it's a competition now. Like, may the best woman win, because
that is a lot of women are competing with those men.
Absolutely, and some of those would rather prioritize their goal. Well, not necessarily their goals of their career, but I feel like men sometimes get very one track minded when like they feel like they haven't reached a certain pinnacle that they're trying to reach, even though they in a great position, and women are like, oh, you're great, you make 6 figures and you have this going for yourself and this going for yourself, and men are like, no, it's not enough, and I can't focus on shit else until I'm not ready. Like, it's just I'm not ready.
Yep, I've heard that a lot.
I was looking at something where I think it was Tony Gaskins that had said that if a man, regardless of whether he's a 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure man or not, if he doesn't live in his purpose, he's not going to be a very easy person to deal with.
I like that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think purpose is absolutely important for men, and I think that's one of the issues with a lot of men, especially young Black men, is that there is no sense of urgency, no purpose, and you don't really develop. You might not develop that until you get a little older. And I think obviously because of the lack of father figures in the household, I think
they latch on to rappers.
Yeah. I think that's changing as well. I see a lot of active fathers, and shout out to Jew because he's very much an active father, and my other friends are very active as well. So I think it's starting to change. It's going to get there eventually, man. It's just that unfortunately we have been in a country that has worked very hard to destroy the nuclear family and has succeeded. You know what I mean? But we obviously have the information. We know that. And now we just have to come back together and figure and rebuild and figure this out for each other. Because at the end of the day, we all we got, man. As much as people want to keep saying, I'm going to go overseas, or I'm going to give me a white man, or I'm going to give me a Becky, we all that we got at the end of the day. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We have the capacity to be able to really see and understand each other. If we could remove all the bullshit, like Black women and Black men have the deepest capacity to have empathy, to have compassion, to understand each other's walks of life. And I think we got to spend more time pouring into that versus gender wars that we
do.
All the fucking
There's no balance at all.
I just don't understand how the next generation of Black men is already blamed for what the past generation of Black men have done. You get what I'm saying? So, like, okay, so
how so?
There's been a lot of single mothers, right? But us young Black men that was growing up also was raised by single Black mothers. So when young women are dating us, we're already accused of what their father has done to their mother, where it should be a kind of a new slate where we're not following the same pattern, because we're already put in this box as that nigga, rotten, dirty dog that did what my father did because my mom said, don't trust no nigga. He did that and another.
When you hit a mantra growing up,
there's
niggas
no
ain't
room
shit,
for growth at all.
niggas ain't shit. It's never some niggas ain't shit. It's just
or
niggas
the percentage,
80%.
What is it? 87% of men, 80% of Black men will. If you have a baby by a Black man, it's like an 87% chance you're gonna be a single mother.
But I think you're more like, just like if you have a child, if you only telling them the bare minimum, you ain't shit. You ain't gonna grow up to be shit. You know what they're gonna grow up to be? Not shit. So imagine when you hear from your women that you admiring, or you try, because us young men, we don't grow up to be dogs. I feel like it's built into some of us. You get what I'm saying? Where you see the dog getting treated better, the dog ass nigga getting treated better, and he's benefit more out of a relationship. So what you gonna emulate? The fucking dog nigga. So you're gonna want to be like him rather than a good man. And you realize good men are getting the shitty end of the stick sometimes. So with that being said, I just think sometimes it's hard for us young black men that's coming up, and we already feel like, damn, I'm not shit. I'm already a call, not shit. Or
I gotta come in at it.
What am I growing up to be? You get what I'm saying? Or how am I gonna make this shit better at the same time?
You feel like young men are internalizing those messages from their moms? Is that what you think?
No, I think the younger women in their generation who are traumatized from their mom's situation.
Right.
Not acknowledging that we went through the same situation as young black women. We were raised by single mothers as well.
Right. No, I think mommy, daddy, parental issues in general, a lot of people carry and they have. And I think my original point was doing your individual healing, because that is going to show up in every facet of your life, especially in relationship. So like,
it gotta be forced.
If you know that you've had a poor relationship with your mom, or you receive negative messages, like I have women clients who will say, like, my mom, she had niggas in and out, like she always said niggas wasn't shit. I didn't want to subscribe to that. So some people don't necessarily internalize that. They want to be the opposite of that because they learn from, you know. But that individual healing and understanding like where your trauma comes from and how that shows up, that has to be dealt with, or it's going to be perpetuated in your relationship.
Yep. You have to take responsibility for it. It doesn't matter if it happened. Yes, we're sad that it happened. It's unfortunate, but you still have to do the work as a grown individual.
And then imagine not doing the work to do that, and then you're also bonding off of trauma. You're trauma bonding on top of that, because we both grew up without a father or without a mother, for whatever the case may have you. So that is even spoiling into more negativity with trying to unlearn behaviors. So
I think one thing that I seen recently was Amber Rose was talking about how her son, like kids was making fun of her son at school because they found out she had an OnlyFans, and we had a woman on the show that had an OnlyFans and she had a son. And I asked her, like, how do you think that's going to impact how he views women growing up? Like, if he's seen his own mother, busting it open for $5.99, like on OnlyFans, you know what I mean? And she's just like, oh, well, he's just going to fight them. He's going to beat them up. He's going to beat them up. And I'm like, yo, but you're not understanding what that's doing to him mentally and how that might affect him and how he treats women growing up. He might just see them as an object because, his mom has been, getting money and sent money to do outrageous things. Like, so now he might look at women growing up as just as an object, something to throw money at. Like, you get what I'm saying? And I don't think we fully understand the impact that has on our young boys and our young girls as well. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, what would we say to kids who have like drug dealer fathers or scammer fathers?
No, that's true. I do the same thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I hold the men accountable the same way.
I'm just curious what that response would be, because we always put it as like, oh, your mom's a stripper. She has OnlyFans.
So my thing is, which one is it? Because we love to say there's not black fathers are not in the home, and then we say, well, the black fathers were drug dealers. How many black fathers are drug dealers and like?
I know who happen to sell drugs. They're not bad fathers. I'm not negating that. Just like I wouldn't say because you are OnlyFans girl.
How often are they around their fathers?
We were talking about the influence. I'm saying that it happens. There are people who grow up who have fathers who are in illegal businesses.
I agree. I'm just saying as somebody who's around their mother more often than not than their father, because obviously there is a lack of father presence in these households. They're going to see more of their mother in that lifestyle and that entertainment life than they are going to see their father. Like,
and like, what if he is single dad and he sells drugs?
I don't know how many. No, that is a hypothetical. Like, you know what I mean? We doing these extreme hypotheticals. I don't know how many single fathers out here selling drugs. You know what I mean?
Extreme hypothetical, and maybe it's just because I'm from Chicago. Like,
and you know a lot of single fathers selling drugs.
Men who are active fathers, and they may not be single fathers, but there are men who are very active fathers who may.
And they doing that in front of their children.
I'm saying,
but who's to say that these women are doing that in front of their kids?
It's online, like
it's online.
You can put your mom name on Google and find her OnlyFans link. Like that ain't Your father, you ain't seeing it. You're not gonna see your pops out there making a drug deal. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Type in dad selling drugs and see your pops on there. Like,
it's probably not her government name though. So we
It'll pop up eventually. Like, you go to she got the link on her IG page. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so do you think that if a woman is a great mother, let's just say she is a wonderful mother, there's no issues that are going on inside the household, but the mother is, let's just say, OnlyFans person. So what do you think that the child is going to completely negate the fact that they had a really great mother and just hold in on the fact that their mother was a stripper?
Let's be honest. Let's be truly honest. If a kid is being picked on at school, right? What do you think is going to affect him more? His mom showing her ass on OnlyFans or his father going to jail for selling drugs? What? Because he's going to have both are bad.
Boy,
both are bad. But which one is really going to traumatize the rest of his school career?
Is the child a boy? We're saying his, right? So as
her. Once her mother's looking like a hoe, you know what they're going to equate her to be? A hoe.
And she most likely gonna follow in those footsteps because she's gonna see how much money her mama making. We got women going straight from high school to OnlyFans. Like, come on, like let's act like that's not a thing.
I mean, the man is the one that's paying for it. How you gonna get mad? They making money.
Most definitely paying for it.
Huh?
I'm still waiting for
Most
an answer.
customers are men.
Which one would impact them more? Going to school, man, young boy or young girl, mother working.
The father going to jail. He ain't there. I mean, the mom is there. I mean, she making money. I mean, the father's in jail. I mean,
I think they're both as bad, and they're both will get.
I mean, it's both bad, but when you have to choose, it's like, do you want your father home, or do you want your mama?
I ain't say he stayed in the jail. I said he got arrested.
The best way she can.
I ain't say he stayed in the jail.
He going to jail. If that nigga in jail, like
I just love how y'all not keep real. Because if one thing is,
I mean, I get what you're saying, and I do agree
in reality,
that it will affect the
I
child.
think it was more common for us to see our parents go to, some young black people to have their fathers get arrested, right? It was common, especially you said in Chicago, it's common. They selling weed, so of course they get caught, whatever. Boom. It's not common for your mom to be having her whole body part out. And when they come in, they shaming you. I think that, and this could be me, if your mom ass and titties is reachable for everybody else to see and talk about, that shit would affect me more mentally, man or female.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I do agree with that.
Like that, but then you also said, right? So now we're entering into an era where this is more common. So just like before, like going to jail was common. The whole like your mama, it could be
I hear you.
Okay.
OnlyFans.
That's
true.
Like,
everybody got one. Everybody titties out. That's
it. I mean, at this point,
and exposure, right? So like how old the child is, how involved, how much social media, like how is that getting out, like all those different types of things. But those are things that these moms who are doing that type of stuff, they have to explain. Just like, back in the day when people had mamas who were strippers and shit. Like,
they gonna see ass and titties on Instagram. They gonna see all that anyway. So it's like,
it's not as much of a shock, I feel like. And it could be a shock now, but I think over the next 2 years,
we keep trying to justify.
Nobody's justified it. Y'all are
not justifying it.
It's more normal. There would be sex workers and men would paying for the shit.
Yeah, but we're talking about young boys that's growing up and seeing their
mother. But if the mother needs to make money, she is going to find a way to do so. I'm not condoning it. But what I'm saying is that you can't talk down on the woman when you are contributing to it.
And you said something about abuse. What you say about abuse?
Who said that? I said that?
Yeah.
I can't remember. But again, I think we keep trying to normalize this and then confused when our young boys don't respect the women growing up. And then y'all confused. Like, I can't understand why he don't respect the women, because your mama popping that pussy and he don't see you as somebody to respect. Like, and then that's another layer.
But tell me this. What's the difference of them seeing it going on social media and seeing it versus hearing other kids talk about their mom? I mean, obviously their parents had to be watching their mom for them to know and showing their kids. I mean, I'm pretty sure OnlyFans, you have to be a certain age. Maybe I'm thinking too deep.
Internet is not
whatever.
like
But I'm just saying, like,
our information to enter. So how are they accessing it anyway?
Kids are mean as fuck. You don't think they're gonna do their Googles and find out your mom is like, y'all don't understand the capability
I can
that
make
these
an
young kids
18-year-old
have.
email. Come on, you act like y'all
I
wasn't
think it'd be
single
more
before.
effective if they got locked up.
Be on
I
OnlyFans,
don't
be on
know.
Twitter these days, man.
You still got to spend money to see it. So depending on the age of the kid,
that should be on Twitter.
Should be on Reddit, Twitter.
Well, Twitter, that's true. It does. Everything is
marketing.
accessible on Twitter.
It's marketing, right?
Exactly.
So
I've seen a lot of things on Twitter, baby. So that's true.
When you've done certain things to make a living for yourself and you have kids, regardless which side, whether you the drug dealer daddy, the scammer daddy, or the OnlyFans mama, the stripper mama, you're still gonna have to find a way to explain yourself to your kids.
Yeah.
I think it's two totally different situations. Because even if a guy was selling drugs to fit his family, it's still a level of respect for that man.
But he committed a crime.
There's nobody that has respect.
It's both.
It's a crime. It
is
keep
a crime.
him from getting an apartment.
No, Ace has a great point. It is a crime. I do agree with you. But again, the women and men will respect him because they're going to look at it and say, hey, you know what? You're trying to provide for your family. Whereas men ain't going to look at women and be like, damn, you know what? You popping your pussy, you provide.
And women is not looking at her like that.
Our woman became the most educated.
Beginning of time, pay some bills. So
you said what?
No prostitution.
It's a double standard because since the beginning of time, and men will be quick to say, ain't no reason no woman should be broke as long as she got a pussy, right? Like, so since the beginning of time, women have used
She was doing that shit on the low, and she wasn't posting on advertising on Twitter like, yeah,
times has changed.
Nobody knew your mom was popping pussy back then, bro. Nobody knew that shit.
Look,
except for the OG, the old heads, yeah.
The old heads do that shit. Nobody in your class is like, yo, I see your mom's, bro. I see.
And the neighborhood daddies used to go to the local strip club. Niggas knew. So that's why I'm saying, like, everything, of course, with the internet is just so much more publicized. Nothing is private. And I can't, again, I ain't got no kids and I ain't got no OnlyFans. So I can't speak for what those type of conversations that those have. But I'm sure like once it becomes exposed in school, there's an impact. I'm not gonna deny that.
Yes. Let me get to these super chats real quick.
Y'all have emails in y'all chat. I don't like it.
In 2023, Black women know what is being asked of them and need to be done. They just don't want to do it, and that is fine. You get the outcomes you get. Taps play.
Okay.
I guess.
Thank you.
You think you about to go? Right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so
much. Can't back at it again. He said, "Bad faith, Brittany. Don't play whataboutism. Tackle the subject. Accountability is the name of the game. You can't denounce the bad mothers without even talking about the fathers."
Thank you. Thank you for not listening.
Yo, Brittany, you too pretty to be this loud and wrong for no reason. Why can't we want a decent woman who doesn't expose herself? Does that hurt you?
You can. I'm not.
Who said that?
See, that's what I be saying.
That's crazy.
Y'all got selective hearing.
They be hearing shit that's not
very much so.
Shout out to Michael.
Who said? Somebody say you had to the data.
They talking to Brittany tonight. All right, Merciful said Brittany got a PhD in avoiding the truth.
that actually was a funny one. That
was a funny one, man. Yo, said the lack of accountability and the scapegoating doing is the reason why kids need to be with their father and not mother. Shaking my head.
Well, my kids got active daddy, so thank you. Jackie, I don't got no Pookie and Ray baby daddy, so thank you.
Shout out to you, man.
Yo, Merciful quotes.
They can't let go pay.
No swimming or the haystack,
they
not the needle.
Let go.
From let go pay.
Oh, that is a great saying right there. I agree. I mean, that's a great saying right there. The haystack, not the needle. Okay. Miss Anthony said, "Listen, it's called selling yourself for a reason because you can't buy it back. Double standard aside." Ooh, okay.
Oh, y'all got the bars tonight. Okay.
Are they giving y'all?
That nigga a poet.
We got one from King Adam. Shout out to King Adam. He said
Outsourcing
the
or
black
what?
community is doomed, and this is the mentality to be raising the next generation. Take notes of the signs, fellas, and move around. Outsourcing a what at this point.
Can I say something? Do y'all realize how we were probably the most reasonable like panel of women, and they still have very nasty things to say?
Thank you. We are very unbiased.
We appreciate y'all, and this is again, this is the internet. We know, like, it don't matter. People gonna have their opinions.
Like, I just want that to be a point that, like, we agreed with y'all. We may have a little bit of other perspective.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I don't think there was necessarily. I mean, there was a couple of points I didn't agree with y'all, but I don't find any of the comments super disrespectful or anything. Did y'all find it disrespectful?
I ain't been looking. I don't care.
I definitely the ones that y'all.
Yeah, it was a little jokey joke here and there.
I don't. It's not like yo, fuck out of here, y'all bitches is wild. Like, you know, there's none of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
Juby said Brittany needs to watch this back and listen to her responses. They are full of what about isms.
I was bringing just different perspective, but I agree. So, like, what's the problem?
I mean,
it is what it is.
You might want to make it more clear that that's what you're doing.
I did.
No, she did. She definitely did say, "Yo, I want to argue for the other side."
I didn't say that.
Right.
I said she might want to make it more clear next time. That's all I'm saying.
Again, I do appreciate y'all ladies for being on this panel, and I do want to get to this last time before we close out because it's getting kind of late. I do want to talk about Galentine's Day, right? Because obviously Valentine's Day just happened. But I've seen a lot more stories of women celebrate Galentine's Day with their girlfriends and doing all nice things for their girlfriends and balloons and flowers for their girlfriends. But on Valentine's Day, it was kind of dry for their significant other, for the men. You know what I mean? So why do you think more women put more effort into Galentine's Day than they do for Valentine's Day?
Sheesh.
I mean, well, we also have to think about, are these same women who are doing Galentine's Day, are they even in relationships?
Right. That's what I was going to say. Are you
Right.
Right.
I ain't gonna front. Some of them that I did see, they wasn't in relationships. They had whole niggas, and they was still out there.
I disagree because I participated in Galentine's Day, and I feel like that's majority of people who participate in that are because they're not in committed relationships and because they have not been loved and spoiled throughout the years, or they know that they're not going to have a Valentine this year, so they're going to spend it with someone that they care about and they can show love to and compassion with, and that's your girls. So I don't see the issue with doing that if you're not in a relationship.
You know why that can be an issue, because this is why I dislike sometimes about relationships and women and whatever the case is. Y'all don't give that same energy and effort when y'all get a man, but y'all homegirls, y'all be for their birthdays, y'all be going on vacations, y'all be buying them all these birthday dinners, y'all be buying them rollies, but when it's y'all nigga, y'all don't be having that same energy. And I know a lot of men in the chat can vouch for this. Yo, fellas, put a 1 in the chat if ladies do not have the same energy for their man that they do with their homegirls. I know there's gonna be a lot of ones in that chat because I've experienced it. Like, you're in multiple relationships.
Niggas getting cologne and underwears as gifts.
That's even a
gift.
Some
of them don't get nothing. They just
that's what I'm saying. You doing too much.
Yeah, they get like, I wasn't trying to bring the coochie up, but yeah, the coochie.
Let me redeem myself. If you have a boyfriend and you didn't get him shit worth getting that he asked for or wanted, you ain't shit. I hope that's
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I'm a little bit disingenuous. I don't know if you really feel that way.
My son is 15, and he got a gift for Valentine's Day, and he got his girl a gift. He's 15 years old, and they gave both each other a gift. So it's not the mindset. It just depends on the person. It's not an overall mindset when it comes to with women and men. I get what y'all saying.
Do some tricks. When I like somebody, I'm a trick. Like, I know women who are tricks who like gonna go all out.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell nobody.
Just in case he fuck up, you can't make it too public. But like,
right.
And I'm
been there, done that.
In Chicago, we have something called Sweetest Day. Sweetest Day usually falls like end of September, early October. Like, really Midwest people kind of celebrate it. And millennials, Chicagoans, like, Sweetest Day is for the men. The women show out, dinner reservations, it's all on the timeline. So, like, for Chicago, Valentine's Day is more so like for women because we celebrate Sweetest Day, and that's all about the meeting.
You said it's called what day?
Sweetest Day.
Yeah, somebody said that to us before.
Yeah, so that's how we do in my city.
Yeah, that's the first time me hearing about that. Like,
no,
I heard it before.
That's what we do in my city, and Sweetest Day, like the restaurants, all of that shit be just as busting as it is on Valentine's Day. So, like overall,
but do y'all think, in y'all personal experience, that y'all have seen more of women go out all out for their homegirls than they did for their men?
No.
No,
I haven't.
That's fair.
A lot
That's
of women
fair.
don't even like
Yeah,
her.
what you
They
thought
don't
the
even have
answer
a lot
was
of
gonna be?
friends.
I thought they was gonna keep it a buck, but that's fair. If that's your experience, I agree.
No. Honestly, no. Especially in this day and age, like when you're in a relationship, like you have to focus on your relationship to get to the end goal. Women want to get to the end goal. Women want to get married. Women want to have kids. Women want to spend the majority of time with their spouse. Like Galentine's Day, and most people that I know that celebrated are single. They're not in committed relationships.
Yes,
So
I
they
agree.
spend
Right.
it with their girls.
I hate to put my girl business out in the streets like this because she's not here to defend herself, but she was once and she was in this situation where, you know, her homegirls they was buying each other like whatever that person would want. They were it's like 10 of them.
Yeah,
they called circle, and it was rotating everybody's birthday. I'm like, but I'm paying bills, you know. I sure gotta pay nothing, so it's cool. But once I seen that money dabbling on these expensive ass purses, I said, "Oh nah, we not in that no more. This is the last circle, and we not spending no block." And I'm telling you, like, it was very disappointing. I ain't gonna hold you. Women out here doing that, even mine. But she stopped.
What's a couple $100? She got
$100. They don't know. It wasn't no $100. Like,
it's a couple hundred, but yeah, nah.
I'm saying, do you feel like her gifts that she gives you are not sufficient, which is why you don't want her doing it?
No. She spends too much money. I have a problem with her. She has a money spending issue.
So this goes to a deeper rooted issue more so. Like,
yeah, she's like spending. So
she's showing up
spending no outside of the house. Yeah, you definitely fucking up. You better bring that shit back. Let's stop playing.
Conversation about expectations. That's cool.
I got a couple more super chats. Andre said 57% of men are childless, 30% of men are sexless until 30. 10% are going to the pookies that they are having kids with. These are the stats.
Why are we talking about this?
They're probably doing the later part of the
Google search because y'all here love
what's that?
Twitter
stats. Twitter stats.
Look up the stats.
Statistics, man. It's all about statistics. I remain unimpressed. Said with Sapphire this far from best pan. Wait, what?
With Sapphire, this is far from the best panel. Relax, Chicago. I think you're talking about last. Live show.
Oh yeah.
Yo, I remain unimpressed. You've been on her body, boy. We gotta get her back on the show for you.
True indeed said. Oh, more stats for you. All right. 7% of black men have no children. 33% are married. If these ladies can do math, black men mathematically can't. These lovely ladies respond to that reality.
What you want us to say?
You're right.
Okay, thank you. Appreciation.
They appreciate you. True indeed.
That's it.
Now we got some more. Jason said, "Let the women have Galentine's Day. At least they'll have something when they hit the wall."
Oh wow!
Damn. Okay. Yeah. Andre said, "Cap on October 18th. Women get spoiled like Valentine's Day. I've never heard of men being spoiled in the masses on this.
You should expect your circle, huh?"
I gotta do more. You said Sweetie is Sweetie Day or what is it?
Yeah, what's that?
Sweet Tis? Oh, okay. I'm gonna do something.
Oh, Sweet Tis Day. Okay,
I'm gonna do something.
Yeah, that's the last one from Andre. Shout out to Andre.
They meet in Chicago there on that day.
Mm-hmm. You say you got one more. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we gonna get the fuck up out of here. But again, I do appreciate y'all for pulling up on this panel, having a conversation with us. I appreciate black women. I just want y'all to know that, you know what I mean? And I appreciate y'all for having this conversation in good faith with us. Because, you know, that's the whole purpose. We just want to have the conversation. Obviously, we're going to, you know, have difference of opinions and that's healthy. You know what I mean? As long as nobody's being disrespectful of each other, I think it's all fair game. So again, let them know where they can follow you at. We're gonna start with Jackie. You can let them know where they can follow you.
Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at Jack My Vibes. And you can also follow me on YouTube at Evocentric Podcast.
Queen, you up next?
All right, you can follow me on Instagram at Queen M Bonnie, and you can follow me on YouTube, Royal Self Media, and you can check out my website, royalself.com. I just published my first journal, self-care journal, and me and my baby girl just published our first coloring book. So you can go on royalself.com to check that out.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's lit.
Candy.
You can find me on Instagram, Candy25Love, and all other platforms. TikTok, all that's the same. So I do have a lingerie line that's launching out real soon. So look out for that.
Okay.
Brittany.
You guys can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at BringItBrat_. YouTube is Keeping It a Buck with B. And make sure you check out my bios that has my links to my book, The Things I Wish I Knew, A Millennial's Guide to Learning the Mental and Emotional Concepts, the school system, and our parents.
You don't got an OnlyFans link in that bio, do you? Yo, Bree, last but not least.
All righty. You could find my loud but passionate self at Brina/Boombat on TikTok and Instagram. And we love you, Black men. So
wow, like I haven't heard that in a while. Like, you know what I mean? I appreciate that. Like
that one hit home.
Yeah, I did hit home. Like, I mean, again, if y'all didn't already make sure y'all like the video, man. And join the membership, man. Join the membership. Y'all get exclusive access to all our episodes. Even y'all gonna get some exclusive episodes. We recorded like 2 or 3, 4 episodes that y'all gonna get just for the members. And we got the new episode tomorrow, 11 tomorrow. So make sure y'all tune in. That's a good episode, man. Make sure y'all tune in for that one. So appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Cut the merch.
I ain't want to end it without you, saying in the middle of talking and then you get mad at me, like, you know what I mean?
You know how you do, but yeah, cut the merch.